Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
How are you feeling today?
Good.
You're looking good. Nice to see the sparkle in your eye. It's Sunday, so you probably cleaned up last night. And then again, if not, we'll slip by that one. It's interesting how in communication we often use words as our primary way of connecting one to another. But if you stop and think about it, when we were born, we came into a different energy manifestation. Everything kind of cooled down, and while some things were transmuted across, such as telepathy, still we find ourselves using words as one of our main ways of touching one another. Now, don't tell me words don't matter. I have a dream. Just words. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. Just words. We have nothing to fear but fear itself. Just words. These are things that we as Americans have all heard, and they have left an impression upon us. So we look at this and we begin to get a feel that there's an energy to words. And there's a space, you see, between the spoken word and the ray of consciousness that illuminates those words. And that space is one in which we all dwell and in which we all have a choice to make on what words we're going to choose. But many times, our choices are unconscious. And that's because we are so impacted by the energies that we have inside ourselves that it's almost as if we must speak what we're feeling. So when I said to you that you're looking good, that could be in comparison to how you looked yesterday. As a matter of fact, I could have said to you, you're really looking good. But I do remember how you were looking yesterday, so what was wrong with you yesterday? Were you not feeling good? Or because I just came away from a situation that torqued me up, I come and connect with you, and because I'm so full of this energy that I just experienced, I must get rid of it. And therefore, I get rid of it on you. Now, I can do it directly to where I talk about what happened to me yesterday. What happened to me just a few moments ago. And I can do it in such a way that you get the full thrust of my vehemence, of my anger, of my bitterness, of my resentment, to where you and yourself may be going, if not physically, energetically, you're feeling this. But you see, that is the way it is when you encounter a toxic talker. Because toxic talkers have an energy about them that they must release. It's almost like a curse. You know how viruses go? They travel from one host to another, to another, to another. Well, a toxic talker is like a carrier of a virus. And in order to feel better, they try to bring whom they are talking to down to their level of energy. Now, some toxic talkers, very clever. They don't go about it in a direct way. They'll go about it in insinuations. They'll talk about someone else or something else to express their energy. And it still affects the listener, especially if the listener is unconscious. There's a point of naivete that causes us to become susceptible to the toxicity of someone else. That eventually, through enough exposure, we start realizing, I've got to protect myself here when I come into contact with this person. I might even go so far as saying my chosen protection is to avoid the toxic person. Because some people are just so toxic that they don't even have to open their mouth to influence you. The virus is jumping into you through your cells. Is this fiction I'm speaking? Okay. If it is, it's damn good fiction. You see, that's kind of like the nature of fiction, too. Is that it's built upon manipulation. Because any good fiction writer is going to choose words to lead you up to a place where you're going to cry, you're going to laugh, you're going to breathe a sigh of relief, you're going to, oh my God. And it's all manipulation. What is the difference between manipulation and simple communication? You might could say motive. If you look at someone who is a toxic talker, you're going to see that they have this energy about them. Now, to protect yourself, of course, you need to have some form of knowledge about this and awareness, so that you and yourself can begin to see and sense and feel what someone else is generating. So, you might want to try to maintain an atmosphere of composure, neutrality, or even go to the point of compassion. Or another more direct approach is simply bring it to their attention. When they're really talking things down, they're really bringing you down, you simply bring it to their attention. You know, this really sounds like you're talking about yourself. Because, see, that's the truth of the matter. Every time we hold conversation, we're always talking about ourselves. If we're talking light, bright, happy, then we're talking about that recognition of ourselves. If we're talking about density, darkness, if we're talking about complaint, then we're really talking about ourselves and how we feel about ourselves and the relationship we're having with ourselves at that time. It's a funny thing, but in this you're also hearing that it isn't just the words that are being spoken, it's the feeling that's being conveyed with a spoken word. Warren Beatty, I think most of you are familiar with the actor Warren Beatty. Yeah. He has said that people will forget what you say, but they won't forget how you make them feel. That's why you keep coming back. Because more than less here, you're going to feel good. Because once you get here, is good feeling. It's going to come across in the spoken word. It's going to come across in the expression of song and music. It's going to come across in the connections that are made, to where the result is you feel good about you. You feel hopeful about you. You feel that there is definitely a promise of some improvement and some recognition of the good that lies at the very core of your being. I was fortunate in that I had the opportunity as a kid growing up to go from one church to another, depending upon where we moved, because my father was in the service. My mother would say, okay, let's go find a church here. And off to church I'd go. I heard the rave and the rant. I heard that you are a sinner, that you are born in sin. There ain't no way in hell you're going to get away from it. And that your only possible redemption is to accept somebody else as your personal savior because you just can't do it yourself. Now that may sound, a little different to you, but the United States as a country is a lot more religious than many of the other Western counterparts in the world. And that's whether you like it or not. And that's whether your particular brand of religion is something that appeals to everybody else or not. So, the curse of a toxic talker can be experienced from the pulpit. I've heard it so many times, I thought to myself, how can these people come back? They have to be so inclined to self-torture. They have to be so inclined to a less than awareness that they're willing to sit there and take it hour after hour about how bad they are. But you see, where we are right now, there's more light that's coming into the world. And the veil is getting thinner and thinner. So this today is really a message designed to encourage you to pay attention to what you experience in your conversations with others or in conversations that you overhear. Because in this way, you're going to then become much more consciously present in your involvement when you're talking with someone, whether it's for the first time or if it's one of many times. That old nursery rhyme, sticks and stones may break my bones, but names, words will never hurt me. That's baloney. That's baloney. If I were to say something to you right now that touched at a source of insecurity in you, you're going to find that the result is you hurt. It causes you pain. So in this idea of neutrality, this idea of actually being present with composure, can help you to sort out your own reactions, let alone be more savvy of how to deal with someone else who's spewing out this toxicity. So, with this in mind, we can then go back and see that in order to break a curse, you have to see it like a spell. It's an energy. It is an energy that's being generated. And in order to break the spell, the effect that it might have upon you were you unconsciously involved, means that you have to be aware and then make a choice in yourself. Is it worth it for me to pursue this conversation? Would it be better for me to leave? If you can, do if you feel it's better. If you can't, then you might want to in yourself leave anyhow. Not physically leave, but mentally leave. I see that all the time. So that teaches me something that I tend to want to practice more and more. And that is, keep my words simple. Have it be something that is easily and readily grasped. I want to encourage you to upgrade your own awareness. Therefore, I'm going to, from time to time, insert things to stimulate you, to want to learn more, to be more present in yourself, and to develop the fine qualities that you have, instead of hanging around with lowlifes who only bring you down and cause you to feel like a lowlife yourself. Many times people, when they come here for the first time, they will have that energy. I'm looking for something better because I'm just so dissatisfied with what I'm experiencing now. And in many of those instances, it's because they're hanging around with toxic talkers who are talking them down. Sometimes what you have to do is you have to get out of that to break the spell. I'm not suggesting run away, because you're not going to run away from yourself. But what I am suggesting is take a look and see if what you want you're not experiencing, then it means you need to make the change. It's not about them, it's about you. So, putting this all together, we can go back to what Barack Obama said in my opening quote. Don't tell me words don't matter. And that's because they do. It's our, for the most part, preferred way of communication. So may your words feel light as a feather. And in the process, find that you are the light you're expressing with your words. Thank you.
For more information about the Metaphysical Church of Enlightenment or the Rodin Foundation, please go to our website at www.rodin.org. If you have been inspired by the revelations shared in these podcasts, please donate to the Rodin Foundation's ongoing efforts to help others help themselves at www.rodin.org/donate.